Break to it. Good morning, guys. We get in the car, put on the charger. Got home, kind of had a long day yesterday. Should have been home before lunchtime, and ended up not getting home until it was just about supper time. And at that point, long day. Long story short, went and got something to eat and come home, and I pretty much went to bed. Not 100% sure if we're racing tonight or not. The weather's kind of up in the air what's going to happen, so I'm putting the car on the charger. Ordered a bunch of stuff from FedEx or Summit on Monday, but FedEx is taking their sweet time getting my stuff to me, so it might make it before the races. If not, we'll do what we can with what we got. Well, we done went and got our ears lowered, and one of the issues we had last weekend was, like I said earlier, one of my tires was going low, my right rear, and it was kind of, all those still full of air, and this one here is flat. So we're gonna bring it in and take a look at it. I really don't recommend leaving your tires up on a tire rack. Sun beats down on them, kind of dry rots them out a little faster, but I was pretty busy last week, so we're going to pull this tire down and take it in the shop and take a look at it, air it up, put some bubble water on it, and see what we come up with, why and where it's leaking at, and either put a new piece of rubber on the rim or fix what we got. So see you inside. Now, when I check tires out, what I use is just a simple mixture of soap and water that I put in a Windex bottle for easy squirting access. And I'm going to spray down around the rim. I'm going to spray around the edges here and flip the rim over and spray around the bead on the other side. And, probably spray around the valve stem, and just kind of see if I can find a spot that's leaking, and I'm going to spray the tire itself down. So hopefully we'll find some bubbles and see where we're leaking the air at. So I got the rim actually sitting down on the bead lock. It's facing down, and we'll kind of try to get in here. You can see, like right here, there's like some little, looks like basically surface scratches on the tire itself. And there's spots all around the tire that will kind of, you'll see more right there, and there's some right here and a little more up here, and it's bubbling around those. So far it's not bubbling around the bead, but going around a track, I don't know if those could be an issue causing it to leak or what, but you can look over here, see all sorts of these bubble marks, and they just keep coming out. Like I said, this is a simple mixture of, I took Dawn dish soap and put it in a bottle, and nothing fancy, but I've already seen the bubbles there, and I see they're all the way around the tire on them, so I'm sure that's not helping anything with helping hold tire pressure. So we're going to flip it back over and spray the other side down and see if we can find any more leaks on that. So we'll let you see here in just a second what we got going on. So we have sprayed down the bead lock side, and you can look and see it looks like dog slobber right in a few spots. That's from the soap water bubbling out. Yeah, I didn't clean the tire. Mother's Day was Sunday, and I didn't have time Saturday to do it. So I'm going to make a judgment call on this one and say we're going to just take this tire off and push it out to the side, because it's not necessarily a horrible tire to keep around just in case, but it does have damage on the sidewall of it, so we are going to go ahead and take it off this rim. I'll have to look through what I got up on the rack and try to find another decent tire to put on this rim here, and we'll go from there. So, like I said in my last shop video, when I was messing with tires before, I used this bead sealer. I think you can get it at Napa. One of my sponsors, Baker Repair, gave this to me last year before last. One trick I have learned with using this stuff is paint it on there like your Bob Ross painting happy little trees on a painting. You're going to put this stuff deep and thick. The thicker the better, in my opinion. But either way, I think this stuff here works a lot better than a lot of people use silicone gasket sealer. It's easier to get off. It stays rubbery instead of getting hard or anything like that. It actually stays kind of rubbery. So this is what I use for my tires and stuff. Like I said, you see me go out there and hit all the tires. I'm sure all but the right rear on this one, on the car right now, is gonna have air in it. Yeah, so far 2 out of 4. But I know this right front looks a little low. Yeah, right front's a little low. Usually it holds air too, but so we're 50-50 on the car. The left side both have air in it, and the right side don't. Not a big deal, but we got that tire. Hopefully it's fixed. I aired it up 20 pounds, which is a little more than what I actually run it at. But I'll let it sit there for a little while I figure out what I'm going to do for my next project. Definitely going to put my air cleaner on. So we cleaned it and all that fun stuff and run K&N, so you got to clean it and then put the oil on it. And that's kind of a process and it takes a little bit of time, but the oil's on there and we're going to stick it on the car. And one thing I need to do, whether my engine or my fan shows up or not today, especially being up in the air about racing, it ain't looking good. The track said if we get any rain at all today, the pits are so wet right now that not necessarily the track that's going to keep us from racing, and which in a lot of cases it ends up being on the pit side that keeps people from racing. Is, you know, the pits are so saturated right now that they just can't handle any more water in it, and if we get any more, we're done already. So if I do need my fan shroud, it's kind of hard to see, but on the top here, don't mind the doggy bowl on my carburetor. The top here is all right. My engine builder, he works on a car out at the track also. He said the top's all right. The bottom, is not all right. And what he was saying, I need to try to get the bottom bent in or do something with it to get it closer to the fan to get a better suction on through the radiator, which could have been part of my overheating issues, but I didn't have the issue last year. So not saying that it wasn't possible issue last year. I didn't run the car as hard. So that's one thing my engine builder said. You know, I got about a ½ inch or so around the fan at the top, and it's probably every bit of an inch or two, maybe 3 on the bottom. So I'm going to look at it, ponder a few minutes, and see what I can't come up with to try to maybe modify that just a little bit to make it better for what I need it to do. Well, just scrolled through the old Facebook and happened to see that they've officially canceled for tonight. So I guess what I'm going to do is, to fix my shroud here, is I'm going to pull the radiator out of the car, because I've got it riveted to the radiator and all that. I'm going to actually pull it out of the car and do a couple of different things here. Is one, I need to secure the lower section of my radiator. It keeps bouncing around and coming loose on me. So I need to come up with something on that. And two, I need to close the bottom of my fan shroud in closer to the fan to try and get a better suction through the radiator. You know, I got the fan set about right on depth-wise on the fan shroud, but I need to get the bottom of the shroud up closer to the radiator. So that's what we're going to do now. So I've made note about a rock bouncing around in my pulley system, and you can kind of, you know, get in here a little bit better. I'm trying to do this blindly. But right here, I don't know if you can see my finger, there's a nick in the water pump pulley, and I don't know, there's a nick in the fan in some spot, but I don't know where it's at right now. But I was 99% sure the rock got in there. You could probably, I don't know if you can see the, bear with me here. It's kind of hard to see the harmonic balancer down there. Get my finger and kind of show you. That was painted black, and as you can see, there's stripes in it. But found the culprit. That ain't no little pebble. It's pretty good size little boulder come bouncing around my pulleys. My summit order finally showed up, so I'm gonna get this set in here while I got my burger started in the grill. Got a mess in here already, but we'll get situated here and I'll see what we got from Summit. First things first, bubble wrap. Whole bunch of it. We gotta have fun with this. I needed to break $100, so I got me a quart of oil. Saved me a trip to the parts store. Some more tear-offs. It's down to my last two on my helmet. I'm going to go ahead and rip them off and clean my visor, because truthfully it's covered in dust. A new pre-filter, because after 3 years, this one here is starting to tear and show wear. So we're going to replace it with a new outer wear pre-filter. Switching fans. We're going to go from a 4-blade to this monster right here. Definitely got some weight to it. My engine done by Danny Mosier. Probably got the power to turn this and pull some air through that radiator. So trying to get this thing running just a tad bit cooler going around the track. Radiator cap. My old one was a 29 to 35 pound pressure cap. When I got hot last week, it didn't get hot enough to relieve the pressure out of the cooling system, or it didn't. The radiator cap wouldn't allow the pressure to release. Let me correct myself on that. This one here, it's got the release tab on it to release the pressure. And it's also not as big of a, as heavy as a cap either. It's only a 21 to 25 pound, which Danny, my engine builder, told me is better to run. That way it is able to push the pressure out of the engine versus having it build up. My hoses look like pregnant women when it got done. It was all swollen up, so wasn't bursted, and they're not weak. They just swelled up from the heat and the pressure. But I released the pressure by turning the cap, which is, anybody knows anything about doing engines, is you don't want to release the cap when it's under heavy pressure like it was. But it was either that or risk causing other damage from too much pressure in the system. Other than a receipt and a small catalog, they didn't give us no stickers, so I'm gonna have to get on to somebody about that. I'm sure they'll be sending me a survey today or tomorrow about my experience, so I'm gonna have to put in there. You guys are slacking on the stickers. I had to beg for them when I go into the store nowadays, so. We got an empty box now, so. My wife's collecting boxes, so I give the box to her. Now I'm gonna keep my bubble wrap. Nice guy, eh? Got my parking garage about halfway filled up with smoke right now. Got the old smoker going. Got some old ground beef on there. People think I'm nuts, but I'm going to say I got the best burgers in town. If I didn't drive a truck for a living, I'd probably set up a food truck and just sell burgers out of it. Because I ain't had no burgers as good as mine anywhere. Now, you guys remember me showing the rock. This is a fan that came off the car, and you can see there's a lot of nicks in it. It was completely black, but the spot that kind of gets me is, you can kind of see it in the camera if it focused. That fin there got damaged a little bit compared to the rest of them. The rest of them are pretty well rounded compared to that one, but just thought I'd show you guys that. It kind of humors me a little bit. All right, well, we got it in there. All 6 blades of it. Some people tell me that shouldn't really need it, but I'm gonna do whatever I can to try to keep this thing cool. All right, mates, look at this butte right here. We made this thing and filled it up with silicone, and it is an absolute butte. Ah, that killed my throat. Now, in all seriousness, with silicone around the edges, anything where I thought it could not lose a little suction on the shroud, so I put some silicone in several places on it, around the edges here and around here on the inside. So, kind of letting it dry up just a little bit more before I start wrestling it into the car. All right, we got the radiator mounted back up. My bar here, this is for the hood rest on it, the hood pins and all that. I ended up putting some self-tappers in the bottom of the radiator to help hold it steady down there. Got the air filter clean, got my breather filters clean, and got my new outerwear pre-filter on. I need to start the car up. One, make sure water circulating. Two, I need to check see if I am getting pulled through the radiator. And three, see if the car likes it. Now it can breathe a little better. night. That took a little longer to get the fire up than what I had hoped for. Carburetor was just a little out of adjustment, so I played with it a little bit, got it working just a hair. Sounds a lot better than what it did when I first started. You'll probably see me take my hat off and shove it down into the front of the car. An old timer at a matter of fact truck shop, an older mechanic there. He actually taught my father-in-law that you know, if your fan is pulling properly, you ought to be able to take your hat off, shove it down in front of the radiator. Of course, we're talking big trucks, but I would say the same theory applies to race cars, pickup trucks, whatever. But if you stick your hat down in front of the radiator at an idle, it should pull it in. You know, maybe not necessarily suck it all the way through, want to suck it through, but it should have enough suction to pull it through. Well, it definitely has enough suction to pull it up at an idle, and it pulls it way back when you get give it a little throttle. But it seems like we don't have any clearance issues with the fan shroud. And like I said, trying this bigger fan, well, it's the same size fan, it's just got more blades. We're trying this out, see if this don't help get the car to run cooler. Like I said, we were pretty hot in the heat race when we ran the heat race, so we're trying to get it to where it's running cooler all through the night, and come feature time it's not overheating. I think my engine builder would be a lot happier knowing that, you know, I can actually feel the airflow back in the driver compartment with the hood off. So I think that's, other than greasing the car up and treating some tires, or I don't really treat them, I grind them occasionally. I think we're about done with the car for today. There's not a whole lot more I don't think I had left on my list to do. Put the filters on, do the fan, make my radiator stay in place. I think that's about it. I gotta get the smoker ready to go, and my wife pulled some salmon out. We're gonna do some salmon tonight. But hey, I'm telling you, I ain't joking with my burgers. You take a bite of that burger, you're on a one-way street to Flavor Town. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You might hear that Guy Fieri say that. I'm gonna tell you, it'll take you right to Flavor Town. Salmon, I got a few decent recipes with them, but them burgers, I got them down. Alright guys, I forgot to tell you before I closed out, this coming weekend in St. Francis County is 1,000 to win street stop, or super streets. We plan on being there. As long as it don't rain and we don't get rained out again. The Mullet Kid, he might actually have his car ready to go. I don't have time to go up and help him today, but I know they been working pretty hard on it, getting it ready, so I thought I just want to throw that out there. It's 1,000 win super streets this weekend. I don't know what all tracks in the area are running, but we're running B mains last week, so there's no telling. We might have a pretty good turnout this time. So, like I said earlier, we'll catch you later. God bless you.